Good afternoon, everyone. It's Justin here again from Meridian Vocational College. On this section 4, we're going to be looking at how to actually use different cookery methods, okay, for preparing eggs, vegetables, fruits, and farinaceous dishes. We're going to look at how we can also adjust any food quality requirements that we have. That might be an allergy, that might be a special dietary request. We're going to also look at different ways that we can prepare fruits, vegetables, and farinaceous dishes. Okay, so let's get started. We're looking at some different, you'll see here in black, I've got some different dot points. Okay, and for different types of vegetables and fruits and different methods of cookery that we'll be using. So let's have a look at these in a little bit more detail. This section, shallow frying. Okay, so when we shallow fry, we're using a saucepan or we're using a fry pan, and we're using a little bit of either vegetable oil or olive oil. Again, olive oil. We think about olive oil when we're cooking Mediterranean style dishes. Okay, so dishes coming from Italy, from Greece, from Spain, okay, that part of Europe there. Okay, we know in Australia as well, we're very multicultural, very diverse. So we'll also be doing some cooking with some extra virgin olive oil or olive oil. Great flavor. When we think about French cuisine, we usually cook with a lot of butter. Okay, butter has really great flavor, but we have to be careful when we're shallow frying that we don't burn. So sometimes when we're cooking, I like to add a little bit of olive oil to prevent the butter from burning, and we add some butter for flavor. We can shallow fry beans. We can shallow fry onions. Onion, garlic are the basis for many dishes. We can say a dish like risotto. Okay, we always start with onion and garlic. But we want to shallow fry this, get a bit of flavor until the onion is called translucent. Okay, so we don't want to caramelize the onion. We don't want to get any dark flavor on the onion or color. Mushrooms. Mushrooms contain a lot of moisture. So when you notice when you cook mushrooms, you might start out with a lot of mushrooms and then they cook down to a small amount. That's because they contain about 80–90% water in a mushroom. We look at this section, braising. I've got here whitloaf and cabbage. Okay, and there's another one called kale. Kale is a green leafy vegetable. It looks a bit similar to English spinach. We braise because we want to get rid of some bitterness. Okay, sometimes kale has a little bit of a bitter flavor. So we might even add a little bit of sugar when we cook down with olive oil to take away that strong bitter flavor. Steam. We can steam fruits and vegetables. I'll put a selection here of some different fruits that we can steam. Okay, so we've got apple, pear, and quince. Quince is a very unique fruit, this one. Okay, they use a lot of quince over in Spain. Okay, this looks like a big yellow apple. Okay, it's got quite a hard, waxy skin. So we have to peel this down, and the flesh is white, like a white potato. Okay, and it's got a little bit of a tough apple sort of texture. What we do is we cut that one down, and in some butter, maybe a stick of cinnamon, we cook that slowly. We can see that the quince goes from a very nice, goes from a white color to a very nice maroon, sort of deep red color. Quince goes very well, quince paste with cheese. Okay, so we can steam that, or we could also braise the quince as well. we go to this section of deep frying. Okay, so a lot of restaurants, a lot of cafes, they'll have a small deep fryer. Okay, we can deep fry potatoes, we can deep fry eggplant. Okay, so often we have to set up the crumbing station, and then we go from the flour, from the egg wash into some breadcrumbs, and then we deep fry. Remember, when we're deep frying, a lot of people think, deep fry, this is not healthy. That's because the temperature of the oil is too low. Okay, so when we're deep frying, our temperature should be 175 degrees to 180 or 190 degrees. So we're cooking evenly. The outside is not cooking too quickly, but it cooks, inside is cooking, outside is getting nice and crispy. Okay, so deep frying. When we look at farinaceous dishes, okay, we can also see that there'll be times when we are shallow frying at the beginning. We might be cooking some onion and garlic, getting some nice flavor going on if we're cooking the red lentil dal. Then we add our soaked dal, we add our lentils into our onion and garlic and ginger. And then we start braising because we're adding liquid. Okay, this is really important. Some different techniques when we think about shallow frying. Okay, these are some different words that you'll be seeing. We can stir fry. Okay, stir fry. So think about a lot of the Asian communities that have a wok in the kitchen. We have to make sure that we have all of our mise en place ingredients ready. Okay, so we might have our onion, our garlic, our chopped ginger, our red capsicum, our bok choy, our spinach, all in little containers. Because once we heat up that wok, we add in peanut oil or vegetable oil because this has a higher smoking point. We have to be very quick with our ingredients going in there. This is quick, fast cooking. We don't have the chance to walk over to the dry store and get an onion and come back. We come back to our wok and the ingredients will be burnt. Okay, so making sure that we're getting our mise en place, we're getting our ingredients ready and organized is really, really important. When we look at shallow frying, we also look at something called sautéing. So when we saute, what we do is we're cooking this again in some fat. Okay, so this is a French term. When we saute, we're cooking this on a low to medium heat. We don't want to get a lot of caramelization, just gentle heat. This can be with fat, butter, or oil. We can be pan frying. Pan frying is also a term that you will see when you look at a standard recipe. Okay, so it might say for you to pan fry the fish. Okay, so we have a fillet of fish, and that could be crumbed in to give a nice crust. Instead of using breadcrumbs, we might use polenta, okay, to make use of this part farinaceous. Okay, so we can use some polenta as our crumb for the fish. And we want to pan fry this. So again, we set up a fry pan, we let that warm up a little bit, then we add our oil in there, vegetable oil, and then we're going to pan fry to get a nice crust, nice crispness. We can also flambe. So flambe, think about when we're making a classic dish called crepe Suzette. This is made with crepes, which is a very thin, almost similar